universities, and I'm sure for all our university community. The conference is a great opportunity to make your contribution and share the most recent development in the field of knowledge management with professors coming from all over the world. The topic of our conference, MakeLearn, is managing intellectual capital innovation for sustainable and inclusive society. The conference is the result of a mutual cooperation between many universities. Our university is devoted to Aldo Moro, that was president of Republic, but he was just a professor and before a student of our university, and was killed by terrorists. Other very important universities, Nada Swan, Kesart University coming from Thailand, Marie Curie Sklodowska from Poland. The context within which the university has been called upon today to serve as profoundly changing in respect of the past. The market and its needs, the autonomy given to each university, the process of globalization, and the consequential need to internalize, the necessity to constantly rethink oneself, also in light of the territory concerned and of the stakeholders who push to rethink and to make changes are profound, focused on sustainable reforms. Universities have the responsibility to set up green competencies and professions, to promote and carry out the betterment of productive and industrial models. It can ignore the need to construct solid and long-lasting alliance with the territory, in a way to plan and work together for the construction of smart cities and territories. On the basis of these premises, the university, as part of a territorial system, needs to put effort into supplying instruments and to contribute to the transfer of competencies to significantly influence to development of the territory in which it insists. The University of Bari Aldo Moro, with its partners, rise up to establish synergies and interactions with the local government, national, international stakeholders, with all the system to promote technological innovation, environmental innovation, with the objective of significantly growing the competitiveness of the productive system on site and in a territory. The conference deals with the intangible assets such as organization structure, culture, employees' capacity, and management relationship. This creates additional value and helps to university and enterprises to acquire competitive advantage in a global market. One of the most challenging progresses in the respect is how to manage the intellectual capital. Managing intellectual capital includes knowledge possessed by employees, by researchers for the sustainable development of university and enterprise, but also the entire economy and society. We have a clear idea of how global citizenship may contribute to the long-term goal for sustainable world development. This raises two main questions, namely, what are the key competencies needed for people to be able to adapt to this rapidly changing and highly interconnected world, and how we can provide people with adequate opportunities to learn this competency. Education, so, is very important for our societies, for our university. I think that university today have to engage in preparing their students to become globally aware, but they also reinforcing the global dimension of their teaching methods and course material. I'm sure that we can discuss all of these topics. With a wish, we wish you all a successful conference and pleasant stay in Bari. Thanks.
Thank you, Professor Uricchio. Next, I invite the conference director, Professor Bin-Shen Lin, to address the participants.
Good morning, conference delegate. Welcome to the MakeLearn conference and Team Joint conference. As we know that the Team conference was created 4 years ago, and MakeLearn just created 3 years ago. This year, it is a joint conference of the MakeLearn and the Team conference. And we reach this year in the program, the conference program, we reached 315 papers. It was a big success. Of course, we thank you all the sponsor university and all the conference delegates attend this conference. We moving around. For example, the Team conference was held in Thailand, in Finland, in Poland, in Korea, okay, those last 4 years. And the MakeLearn conference was held in Slovenia, Croatia. So we hope that you enjoy the hospitalities in this university and Italy, and hope you bring more people, your new friend, and next year in Romania. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Lin. The Vice Minister for Education of the Republic of Italy. Okay. Okay, sorry. Sorry. The representative of the city of Bari, Mrs. Dora Sabina, will address the participants and invite her to the podium.
Buongiorno a tutti. Un sentito ringraziamento a nome del sindaco e mio personale. Voglio rivolgere sia agli organizzatori di MakeLearn 2015 che hanno scelto Bari come sede quest'anno dello svolgimento della conferenza internazionale annuale, sia al magnifico rettore dell'Ateneo barese che ha fortemente perseguito questo obiettivo. Del resto la nostra università nel tempo ha sviluppato e consolidato la sua originaria proiezione internazionale. Infatti, sin dalle sue origini, cioè dal 1926, anche per la sua particolare posizione geografica, l'Università degli Studi di Bari si è distinta come punto di passaggio privilegiato nei flussi e nei processi che interessano l'Oriente e il Mediterraneo. Lo stesso sigillo della nostra università richiama, con il fatto che proietta la sua luce verso Levante, la nostra grande attenzione verso l'Oriente. Bari è anche la città di San Nicola, simbolo dell'ecumenismo religioso e dell'incontro tra l'Oriente e Occidente. In tale contesto la città e le sue università, seppur in un momento congiunturale molto difficile e complesso, continuano ad investire nel campo della proiezione internazionale e della cooperazione transfrontaliera, perché l'idea che si dà e si percepisce di una città è il risultato non solo della sua storia e della qualità dei servizi che eroga nei confronti dei suoi cittadini, ma anche della sua capacità di proiettarsi nel mondo, cioè nel far sì che la misura dei suoi edifici non siano una sorta di privilegiata prigione localistica. Ogni accordo di cooperazione interuniversitaria o di gemellaggio tra città, ogni conferenza internazionale, ogni protocollo di mobilità internazionale è un piccolo ponte che si apre tra culture, che permette il libero fluire nei due sensi di persone, di merci e soprattutto di idee, concezioni, tradizioni, costumi e stili di vita. Questa è la sfida del presente e del futuro per le nostre città, così come l'importanza e l'attualità dei temi individuati nell'agenda dei lavori di questa conferenza internazionale, rappresentano la sfida per la costruzione di una società sostenibile e solidale a partire dalla capacità di coniugare il rafforzamento del capitale umano e le frontiere sempre più evolute nell'innovazione tecnologica. Sono certa che il dibattito e l'approfondimento di questi temi e il confronto tra le varie esperienze internazionali saranno un momento di crescita anche per il nostro territorio. Per questo l'amministrazione comunale è particolarmente felice ed onorata di accogliervi e di darvi il benvenuto nella città di Bari.
Next, Dr. Sebastio from University of Bari will briefly summarize the Mrs. Sabino's speech.
Okay, good morning. Good morning to all of you. The city of Bari is very pleased to have all of you here. We would like to thank the Magnifico Rettorente University of Bari, and we want to just to have a brief speech about what Bari is going to do. Bari is a big town in the Mediterranean area. It's a very important religious town because of the presence of important churches, and also, if you know, the St. Nicholas presence bones in one of Bari churches. A lot of investments are done about the culture in this town, and the municipality is very, very close to the university. We would like to say that this university wants to have the role of a bridge of culture between all the cultures that are present in this conference, and we would like you to thank you to be here today. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Sebastio, for your translation. With us is also the rector of the Politecnica of Bari. So I invite Professor Eugenio Di Sciascio to address the participants.
Thank you to all. It's a pleasure to welcome you in Bari on behalf of not only of my university, which is the Technical University of Bari, but as a president of the Council of Rectors, of University Rectors of Apulia. I'm glad to welcome you all in Apulia today. As you may know, we have 5 universities in the Apulia region. The oldest one is the University of Bari, which hosts you. There is the Polytechnic University of Bari. There's the Free University of Mediterranean, also in Bari. And then we have 2 universities in Foggia and in Lecce. Puglia is a university region. There are several tens of thousands of university students, and it's one of the regions in the south of Italy which continues growing despite the crisis that plagues Italy in this current time. Apulia has a growing and strong industry, basically in the fields of automotive, aerospace engineering, food transformation and logistics, chemistry and pharmacology, which keep growing and also allow a proficient relationship with the universities and with research centers in the Apulia region. Obviously, it's extremely timely, your conference, because the only way we believe to get out of this crisis is to push innovation. Winston Churchill used to say that the best investment for a country is to push milk into babies. Probably now the best investment for a region or for a country is to push innovation into minds of young people and the will to innovate. The effort we are doing currently in our universities is just that, trying to push innovation, trying to push new ideas, creativity in our students. And I think this is the real investment that can save Apulia, Italy, may I say, Europe and the rest of the world. We cannot have any progress with salary dumping. The only possibility for our countries is innovate and focus on our new generations. Our students are bright, creative, and we have to. There's a commitment that we as teachers, as professors, have to exploit to the best our commitment to make them the bright, clever, and creative citizens that they have to be. So, good work to this workshop, and again, a very well welcome in Apulia and in Bari. Thanks.
Thank you, Professor Di Sciascio. One of the co-organizing universities is also Kasetsart University from Thailand. And next, I invite Professor Bordin Rassamites from Kasetsart University to address the participants.
Good morning, President Antonio from the University of Bari, and colleague and program chairman, and welcome to Tim. Let me start out by telling you a little bit about Tim, okay? Because Dr. Binchan probably have not enough sleep, because actually we are not start 4 years. We have been starting for 7 years already, but only in 4 countries. Okay, so basically we have joined with MakeLearn this year. Okay, we decided that because we are such a good friend and we have a similar clientele, so we merged 2 conferences into 1. You have to accept the fact that education is no longer on-site education anymore. So same thing, when you are a professor, you are no longer needed only in your country or in your university. You barely cannot do the research alone. You cannot work alone. This conference is quite different from other conferences because we study hard, we present, we work hard, and we also enjoy having fun. I would see what will happen tonight, because usually every time when we have a conference, we usually enjoy ourselves and enjoy our company. We would very appreciate what the University of Bari has done to this conference this year, and we do hope that for the newcomer, you are become a regular faces to join our conference in the years to come. And thank you very much for bringing us here, and thank you for the lovely, beautiful, campus, and enjoy the conference and get to know one another, and welcome to Tim and MakeLearn conference. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Rassamites. Now with us is also the Vice Minister for Education of the Republic of Italy, Dr. Angela Donghia, and I invite her to address the participants. Dr. Sebastio will translate.
Va bene, traduce dopo di me. Buongiorno, grazie. Innanzitutto mi scuso per il ritardo, ma è stata una questione di organizzazione degli uffici e quindi io sapevo di dover essere qui alle 9:30, quindi mi scuso con gli ospiti che ringrazio. Voglio ringraziare il magnifico rettore Antonio Ricchio per l'invito rivoltomi a partecipare a questa conferenza internazionale, che a mio modo di vedere rappresenta l'avvio di un percorso che ormai si rende necessario intraprendere da parte di tutte le agenzie di alta formazione, per poter guardare al futuro con consapevolezza e adeguata preparazione. I dati dell'anagrafe degli studenti del MIUR ci dicono che negli ultimi 10 anni le università italiane hanno perso 87.000 immatricolati, di cui 45.000 solo nelle università del Sud, vale a dire su base nazionale il 27,5% in meno. ma su base regionale, specie con riferimento alle regioni del sud, la diminuzione risulta ancora più drammatica. Io qualche mese fa avevo inaugurato con il magnifico rettore Uricchio l'inizio di queste celebrazioni per i 90 anni dell'Università di Bari e avevo detto che l'università deve cambiare perché anche l'università soffre e soffre di questa mancanza di visione. Dobbiamo riprendere ad avere una visione. Il presidente della CRUI, il professor Stefano Paleari, ha commentato questi dati, affermando che per questo Paese il sistema accademico non sembra essere una priorità. Pur riconoscendo una certa lentezza nel leggere e interpretare questi segnali di sopraggiunta debolezza del sistema universitario da parte della classe politica, non posso che smentire questa denuncia di disinteresse per il sistema accademico, tant'è che oltre tutte le innovazioni realizzate in questi anni delle strutture amministrative del Ministero, il Governo ha già annunciato un provvedimento legislativo che cercherà di svecchiare e di valorizzare il sistema accademico. Ma non è sufficiente l'azione di un governo, di un ministero, perché le vere riforme non partono mai dall'alto. Occorre innanzitutto una presa di coscienza da parte del sistema universitario della necessità di innovare le procedure, i metodi e gli strumenti di formazione delle nuove generazioni. In questo processo di revisione ci soccorre l'OCSE, che afferma i sistemi formativi devono riaffermare la loro specifica funzione, specializzandosi verso due prospettive: la qualità delle relazioni sociali da promuovere al loro interno e la dimensione della competenza e della capacità critica da stimolare nei giovani attraverso conoscenze e confronti sempre più ampi di livello internazionale. Perché è pur vero che negli ultimi anni un po' tutti i paesi hanno dovuto tagliare per questioni note a tutti in vari settori, ma i dati ci dicono che questa discesa è iniziata già 10 anni fa, quindi forse noi dobbiamo ricominciare ad avere all'interno dell'università quella cultura dell'innovazione e della ricerca che devono creare la visione strategica di un paese, perché l'università deve immaginare il futuro del domani per accrescere le competenze delle imprese, per accrescere la competitività di un paese e per immaginare quale può essere il futuro migliore per le prossime generazioni. L'università deve riprendere questa sua centralità all'interno di ogni sistema paese e deve avere una centralità e una condivisione globalizzata del mondo. Solo preparandosi a realizzare questi due obiettivi si può poi legittimamente richiedere una centralità del sistema universitario nelle scelte politiche e finanziarie di una nazione e di una regione. E investire sulla formazione significa preparare risorse umane ad affrontare il futuro con responsabilità. Significa contribuire a rendere competitivo il sistema produttivo e contemporaneamente garantire alti livelli di qualità della vita a tutti i cittadini. Significa dare valore al capitale umano di un paese e favorire il consolidarsi di una società sostenibile e inclusiva. Esattamente quanto voi con questa conferenza vi preparate a fare. Auguri a tutti e buon lavoro. Mi scuso per aver fatto questo discorso in italiano, ma il mio inglese è pessimo e penso che quando le conoscenze sono pessime, uno non le deve esternare. Grazie.
Good morning to all of you. I am very, very sorry for my late, which is just a problem of sharing and time. It is not my fault. And I would like to thank the Magnifico Rettore for the invitation. I will, the Vice Minister said I will not speak in English because I don't speak English in a good way, so it's better to do it in Italian and someone will translate for me. I would like to thank the Magnifico Rettore for the invitation to participate to this international conference, which represents the start and a new street that we have to follow we have to follow for high knowledge and learning to look at the future with adequate preparation. All the investments of our government are going to into the street of evaluation and for the academic system. The new perspectives for our learning are quality of the social relation to promote a new dimension of competence and knowledge and critical capacity to stimulate young people in new knowledge and at an international level. All investment in learning means for us to human resource and have a look to the future with responsibility, and it means also a contribution for a competitive productional system, and in between a guarantee for high level of quality for citizens, and which means also human capital for all of us. So thank you to participate to this conference. Good luck and good work.
Thank you, Dr. Donghia and Dr. Sebastio. Last but not least, I invite the program chair of the conference, Dr. Valeri Dermol from Slovenia, to address the participants.
Excellencies, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, it is my privilege to address you on behalf of the International School for Social and Business Studies and also other organizers of the Team MakeLearn conference, University Aldo Moro from Bari, Kasetsat University from Bangkok, and Marie Curie Sklodowska University from Lublin, and also to welcome all the participants of the conference. We started with MakeLearn with 200, 250, or even better, 350 participants. This year, we somehow reached these numbers or even exceeded these numbers. So we have 474 registered participants at the conference from 44 countries all over the world. We have 242 papers in the conference proceeding, and additionally 73 papers in 11 special issues of sponsored journals, which is some kind of added value of the conference. So in total, 315 conference papers will be presented in 10 different thematic sessions. On the other hand, there are also some qualitative features that should be stressed out and which are becoming some kind of a trademark of Team MakeLearn conference. We host 9 rectors, vice rectors and presidents of universities from different countries in the world. And tomorrow we organize Rectors Forum, so I invite you to attend. It's today, yes, the Rectors Forum, it's today. But another forum, International Journal Editors Forum, it's tomorrow. And we have 18 distinguished editors participating in the forum. So I believe that the conference is a good opportunity for networking, for meeting new people, finding opportunities for new research, for publishing, and for increasing the intellectual capital of each of us. And finally, I wish you every success in the presentations, but we started yesterday with the presentations, deliberations and other activities, and I wish you a very pleasant stay in Bari.
Thank you, Dr. Dermol. This concludes the opening addresses. We will continue with the keynote speeches. I invite Professor Bart Debicki to deliver his keynote speech entitled Family Business Research, an overview of topical areas, trends, and opportunities.
Thank you. Well, good morning. How is everybody doing? I need to take my watch off and have it right in front of me because I usually tend to go over time. I will try to be brief. Thank you very much for being here, for inviting me. Thank you to the conference board for allowing me to share some of the research passion that I have for family business. I hope you find it interesting. Again, thank you for inviting me here. It's a pleasure to be here. Your Magnificence, thank you very much for hosting us in this beautiful town, beautiful university, in this wonderful room. I don't think I've ever actually been, let alone speak in a beautiful room like that. Thank you very much. Madam Vice Minister, thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to join us here this morning. Family business has been kind of a passion of mine for the past probably 8 years or so. When I started my doctoral program, I never actually imagined that I would end up doing this. I was more into internationalization and cross-cultural management and things like that. So family business has been sort of gradually becoming somewhat of a passion of mine. And if you allow me, I would like to share some of this with you today. Again, distinguished colleagues, friends, thank you very much for being here and allowing me to share some of this with you today. So what I'd like to do is talk a little bit about the foundations of family business, why it's important in my opinion and in the opinion of the folks that do this type of research. Why is it important to investigate family businesses? What are some of the differences between family and non-family firms, at least what some of the trends are in the recent years to distinguish those two forms of business, which traditionally have been treated the same, at least in research. But there are tremendous differences, and I think it's important to understand what they are and understand why we need to study them. Then I'll point out to several topic areas that are part of family business research so that perhaps some of you that are not maybe directly involved in management or in strategic management or in entrepreneurship can maybe find something of interest in the area in the great realm of family business studies, maybe to participate in and contribute to. Then I'll talk a little bit about the trends that have been developing over the last few years and also the trends that have been developing over the last few decades in family business research, and because of that, what are some of the under-researched areas that present tremendous opportunities for contributing and developing our knowledge of that form of business. Then I'd like to talk a little bit about the research outlets and about some studies that have been done in the past to identify the best, most appropriate, most outlets that are maybe of the highest quality to publish family business research, and finally, what is the state of the art, as we call it, but rather, what are some of the most active contributors to family business research, family business knowledge, who are some of the, what are some of the most active institutions, universities and centers for family business research. Again, if some of you find it interesting, you will be able to follow up on these leads and perhaps develop some contacts in that area as well. So, and if we have time, of course, some questions and answers. I usually try to keep things very informal, so if I move around on stage, that's I hope that's okay. If you have a question in the meantime, please let me know. It's completely fine with me. Okay, so some of these logos that you see here, you're probably familiar with, and but you may or may not know that they are actually some of the largest and oldest family businesses in the world. It is, in fact, a dominant form of business, at least in terms of that classification, whether we classify it as a family business or not. Depending on the definition that you use, and I will talk about that a little bit later, there is a little bit of, I don't want to say confusion, because as a family firm researcher, it's probably not a good thing to say, but, there's a lot of debate as to what constitutes a family business and where is that line, where is that threshold that does not qualify it for a family business anymore, and it becomes just a regular business that's owned by a consortium, an individual, but it's not qualified as a family business. But if we apply even a relatively strict definition to family businesses, which is usually 50% of or more of the voting shares, or 50% or more of the ownership that's of the company that's in the hands of a single family or a group of families, who therefore have the influence to make specific particular decisions and influence the company's strategic future, strategic decisions. We classify it as a family business. An additional criterion is usually whether two or more individuals that are related by blood or by marriage are in ownership or in management of the company. If it's at least two or more, we usually classify it as a family business, on top of the fact that the family owns 50% or more of the company. There is a little bit of differentiation between public and private companies as well, but I'll talk about that in a second. So if we apply that particular definition, the actual number of family businesses worldwide is actually larger than businesses that are not owned by families. So that's the reason number one why I think we should study them, and we should study them as a separate entity. Over 80% of operating firms and 77% of new ventures worldwide are owned by families, again, depending on the criteria that you use to qualify them as family or non-family businesses. In the United States alone, the family businesses generate over 50% of the gross national product. And again, in the United States, because there is no specific data about the worldwide situation, we only have it for the United States at the moment, 80% of all workforce in the United States is employed in one form or the other by family businesses. So those are some of the reasons. Here's some of the oldest family businesses in the world that are still in existence. The oldest one is the Congo Gumi Group that's currently under 40th generation of ownership. To me, that's unbelievable. Founded in the year 578. And I put a little blurb in there for you to just, maybe read it. We don't have time for it now, but what a tremendous history that family and that business have. And then there are several other ones, but the number 4, 5, and 6 on that list of oldest family businesses in the world that are still in existence are actually from Italy. One of them is a bell foundry that the family started in the year 1000, and it's still in existence. Of course, vineyards and olive production and glass making, it's a tremendous, tremendous history. I don't think there is a company in the world that still exists for longer than any of these companies that's not actually a family business. There's been a study conducted by University of St. Gallen in Switzerland, which, by the way, is one of those big, huge family business centers in the world that is one of the most active institutions in terms of family business studies. They did last year a very extensive study of trying to identify or create an index of 500 largest family businesses in the world. So what they did was they used a cutoff value of ownership at 32% for public companies. And it was dictated by the fact that usually at the board meetings where decisions are made, the participation is about 60%, which means that if the participation is 60%, usually the family members are in those meetings because those are the consortia that are trying to exert influence on the company's strategic direction. And in an average meeting where decisions are actually made and approved, ratified, made official, that usually is enough in a vast majority of cases. So usually scholars use 30%. The Center for Family Business Studies in the University of St. Gallen was trying to be a little more conservative, so they used a cutoff of 32. And then for private firms, like I said, 50% or more. On the list of 500 largest companies in the world, 31 of them are in Italy. In fact, the company number 4, Exor, owned by the Agnelli family, is number 4 on that list. And of course, that list is based on revenue, which is in billions of dollars. So Walmart stores is currently the largest, and has been for years actually, the largest family business in the world in terms of the revenue. Volkswagen AG, out of Germany, of course, they have been doing a lot of acquisitions over the last several years, and the Porsche family, which of course owns Porsche automobile company as well, owns that group as well at the moment. So that's, and of course you see companies that you may or may not have known that are family businesses, like Ford, Cargill, BMW is also owned by the Quant family, for instance. So again, continuing in that stream of thought regarding why do we study family businesses, there are differences between family and non-family businesses, and I'll try to explain them in a perhaps rather humorous way. Those jokes are funny to me because I'm a big nerd, but hopefully you will find it entertaining too. But the fact is that there are tremendous differences in the way strategy is approached in these companies, in the way decisions are being made, and what these decisions in fact are. Whom do they actually serve? And the conclusion is they usually are aimed to serve the family rather than the well-being of the business and, let's say, the maximization of the economic outcomes of the business. So let's take a look at it. So here's a lady, and she says, "While I see to the children, why don't you and your dad discuss our plan to appoint me to the board?" It's supposed to be humorous, but the truth is that there are several things in this little example that exemplify the specificity of family businesses. Decisions being made in order to satisfy the obligations of the owners to the family. Not just the family that's directly involved in the business, but also extended family. And of course, we all know that if the wife is not happy, of course, the family's not going to be happy, the husband's not going to be happy, and the business will likely fall apart. However, if you appoint somebody to a managerial position or the board of the company who's not qualified, merely on the fact that they are a family member and they feel entitled to be on the board, may actually, and in a lot of cases does, decrease the financial outcomes of the company in the future. It is one of the biggest problems of family businesses throughout history, problems of succession. Most family businesses do not survive the second generation of ownership. In other words, the entrepreneur starts the company, involves the family, and while the entrepreneur, who had in fact the knowledge and the skill to create the business, is in charge, everything seems to be fine. But then there's the son that takes over, who in a lot of cases is qualified, and that's great, but in some cases may not be qualified. But a lot of family companies have it in their bylaws, in their status, that it's only the family members who are eligible to be in the managerial, in the ownership position, in the directorial position in the future. And if that person is not qualified, of course, the firm falls apart. And like I said, the majority of businesses, at least in the United States, it's 37% currently that do not survive the transition to the second generation. It is 76.7 roughly percent that do not survive the third generation. In other words, only about about 22-23% of all family businesses survive the third generation of ownership. And there are reasons for that as well. One of the reasons is this. So here is an owner of a family business, and he says, he takes a little card from the suggestion box and says, now here's one that is brilliant. My son says, obviously, being in a position of power in a family business gives you the right to what's called exercising authority. In other words, making decisions that are not in line with the financial well-being of the company, but rather the altruism, which is favoritism towards family members, and goals that are associated with the well-being of the family, both folks that are directly involved in the business and those who are not, family in general. In other words, a lot of the goals, an objective, a lot of times, of an entrepreneur who starts a family business is to increase the well-being of the extended family, not just to make money for him or herself and the direct family, the wife and the children, but the extended family as well. Here's a board meeting that's happening at dinner. One of the joys of family-owned business is that we can enjoy our Sunday dinner while having a board meeting at the same time. Now, this is actually something very positive. It may seem funny, but it's something that is relatively positive in the family business life in general. A lot of decisions are being made informally and then finalized and ratified and made official during official board meetings, the participants of which are family members that have just met at dinner. It's actually a wonderful thing, because to discuss family matters and to discuss things that are important to the family during an official business meeting, an official board meeting, may be a little inappropriate. But if the majority of the voting folks on the board of directors are family members, you can discuss these things among yourselves and then simply make a vote during the meeting without actually having to justify anything or explain anything. So a lot of these things that are being discussed on an informal level, in an informal setting, foster things like having a sentimental value of the company, or developing an identity of the family members with the company. We are who we are because we are members of a family that owns this business. We identify ourselves with the business. We define ourselves through our business activity. The sentimental value is something that's actually really interesting, because it's been shown in research in the past that if you ask family business owners to value financially, determine the value of their company, that value is consistently, every single time almost, higher, that the value that they give you is higher than the actual market value of the company, which shows that there is some sort of a value that the market evaluation does not take into consideration, and that is the sentimental value that the family attaches to the business. So, and the last problem is, of course, the unorthodox decisions. So here is the father talking to his son and says, yes, Timmy, someday this will all be yours instead of someone more qualified. And that's what I was talking about in terms of those unorthodox decisions that the family influence, the fact that we as a family can exercise authority in our business, gives us the right and the possibility to appoint people to be in the management of the company that may not be the best people for the job. But they are, in fact, family members, and therefore, we want them to be happy. We want our family members to have an opportunity to have a good job, and our company provides them with that, even if they are themselves not the most qualified folks for the job. Hence those problems in transition. Some of the children may feel a little bit entitled. Some of them may not exert enough effort to actually take the company to the next level. They simply assume that that's what their job is going to be, and they don't actually have to work for it. in some cases. But as it shows, statistically, historically, since most companies do not survive second or third generation, it is a big problem. So all these things that I just showed you are summarized under the term that's kind of a new thing and very trendy now in family business research called socio-emotional wealth. And what it is, socio-emotional wealth is the value that the family attaches to the business that is related to what's called affective needs, the needs that are emotional, the needs that are social, that they can derive from the business. Some of the examples of this are like happiness of the family, both members of the family that are involved and not involved directly in the business, fulfillment of family needs, development of the social capital, and so on and so forth, including the transfer of the company to the next generation of ownership. There are good things about the socio-emotional wealth and the value that people attach to it, at least family members do, like helping sustain personal attachments to the business and to the family. We know that if we care about something, or if something that we do gives us satisfaction, the job performance is higher. That's like one of the first things in organizational behavior research and HR research, is that motivation and personal attachment, the fact that we care about something, usually results in better economic outcomes. Fosters long-term orientation and fosters commitment and identification. Again, if we identify with something, we're going to believe in it rather than simply following, rather than simply complying with it. And we know also from HR research that identification and commitment versus compliance result in better economic outcomes. There is, however, a lot of negative outcomes of socio-emotional wealth as well. For example, it detracts family from financial performance objectives. Every time we appoint a family member who's not the best qualified for the job, for a managerial position in the family business, the financial outcomes are going to deteriorate, unless it's some kind of a mistake or a miracle. But that usually doesn't happen. It fosters nepotism. Nepotism means that I, as a father, am going to favor the suggestions, the decisions that my son makes in the company or my wife makes in the company, for whatever reason. But they are my family members. I'm going to perhaps favor them a little bit. That leads to conflict. It leads to conflict between family and non-family members in a business. That's one of the biggest problems, not one of the biggest, but it's probably like number 3 or 4 on the list, is the conflict that results between family and non-family businesses. I visited a company in Canada a few years ago, and we were given a tour of the facility. And the person that gave us the tour was not a member of that family that owned the company. And I wasn't thinking really, but I wish I hadn't said it to him, but I did, because I was interested and I wasn't thinking about it. And I said, how do you feel about the fact that you will never be the CEO or the director in this company? And he looked at me and he said, what do you want me to say? And I felt really bad for asking him that. But that's one of the issues with family businesses, that if nepotism happens, it's going to result in the lack of motivation and in sometimes severe conflict between family and non-family members. Moreover, which is actually more severe for family businesses, that the conflict between family members may happen. If I have 4 children, who exactly do I appoint to be in charge? The oldest one, the youngest one, the one that has the highest degree or the highest GPA? We don't know. It's likely to result in some form of a conflict between family members themselves, and that conflict becomes not just meritoric, not just merit-based, but also emotional. And that's something that is much more difficult to overcome. So here are some, but socio-emotional wealth is just one of the topic areas. It's just, I'm mentioning it, I'm singling it out because it's very prominent right now. It's very hot, it's a hot topic. But there are several other ones. As you can see, we've grouped them into goals and objectives, strategy formulation and content, strategy implementation and control, and management in and of itself that includes non-management topics. The socio-emotional wealth is usually linked to non-economic goals. Family businesses sometimes have goals that are non-economic in nature, like these effective goals of socio-emotional wealth, that sometimes detract us from financial goals. And of course, a list of several other topic areas. Here's some trends that have been happening. This is just a replication of that list from the previous slide. I just increased it a little bit for you to see. The red highlight is probably the most prominent from this particular list. It's the resources and competitive advantage that have been in the past decade, 28 papers that have been published on that area itself. What does that mean? That means that it's probably a very highly important topic, but it also means that there are a lot of publications on it, and perhaps it would be hard to cut into that stream of research. But there are other things, such as the goal formulation process, that in the last decade only had 2 papers published, which is quite tremendous regarding the fact that formulating the goals in family businesses is actually part of socio-emotional wealth, but that particular area is severely under-researched. So if some of you have a particular interest in goal formulation process, this is probably a really good area to sort of jump into. In terms of the things that are related to strategy implementation and the management itself, one of the highest, or the 3 highest research areas are corporate governance, which includes agency theory, which includes the conflict between principals and agents, so the family that owns the business and the non-family members. The conflict between these two is actually included in the topic of corporate governance. Leadership and ownership, of course, must be a hugely discussed topic, because ownership is part of that confusion or debate regarding the definition of family business. And of course, succession, since it is such a huge problem for families, there's a lot of research done on that. But since not a lot of family businesses survive to the 2nd and the 3rd generation, they don't grow enough to professionalize, to appoint an official top management team, and the family retracts to just being the board or the ownership, let alone going public. So that's another topic that has been severely under-researched that presents a really good opportunity. In terms of the methodologies that are used in family business research, we did a study several years ago to just to check whether there was enough rigor and enough relevance in terms of studying family businesses methodologically, and we found that only 79% of the empirical studies out of the 359 that we investigated, about 146 were actually empirical studies. It turned out that there is not actually a lot of rigor. After this paper has been presented, there has been a tremendous increase in the rigor and the relevance of family business research. But we're still striving to find the best possible methodologies, specifically for sampling. Sampling family businesses is really difficult, especially in the United States, where there is no central database of family businesses. Most countries in the world, including Italy, has that sort of a database where you can just go in and download the names of family businesses and the percentages of ownership, which makes it a lot more easy to go out and try to collect data. In the United States, it's usually convenience samples. We know somebody who knows somebody, and they put us in touch. When I collected data in Poland, for instance, I worked with one consulting company that worked with 500 family businesses in Poland. But that's a convenience sample. It may not give me a good cross-section of the population, and that's a problem. In terms of the actual statistical methodologies, regression is by far the most prominent one. In the recent years, there has been an increase in using structural equation modeling, when we did this study a couple of years ago, it was only 6%, almost 6%. Now it's probably like 20 or 30%. Very few studies use discriminant analysis. There were some studies that use CFA versus EFA, confirmatory versus exploratory factor analysis. The exploratory ones are now pushed towards development of methodology, like development of scales and stuff like that. But for the most part, CFA usually gives us a good cross-section of what the dimensionality of different constructs may be. In terms of the outlets for family business research, those are the ones that have been identified by what we did a few years ago. We sent out a survey. We called them up, and then they were filling out an electronic survey to about 40 most distinguished, most accomplished family business scholars around the world. And they came back and identified the most appropriate and the most relevant outlets for family business research. And those are mostly in the area of management, obviously. But as you can see, Family Business Review is the most prominent journal because it's dedicated solely to publishing research in family business, in family enterprise studies. It is currently headed, the editor-in-chief is Pramodita Sharma, who's a very, very vibrant, very good researcher. The second one is Entrepreneurship Theory and Practice, mostly because they do a lot of special issues on family business, and of course a number of other ones, including Academy of Management Journal. And if you look at the SSCI index, they're mostly are about 1.5, and of course Academy of Management Journal is 5.9, the SSCI. I will show you a slide here in a second that will show you the development and how prominent family business research has become in the grand realm of management research. The average for the years 2007-2009 in terms of the SSCI impact factor was 1.3. Then it started rising steadily until last year, actually in 2013. It rose up to 4.23. And in terms of the 5 top A+ management journals, on that list of 111 or 110 now management journals, Family Business Review is currently number 4, which is really interesting because it even exceeded Administrative Science Quarterly. So this is some of the data. Apparently, I, of course, went a little bit over time, but if you're interested, I can share the presentation with you. There's a new journal now that started in 2010, is currently under review at SSCI, called Journal of Family Business Strategy, which is also the second journal now that's solely dedicated to family business research. And this is just for some of you who may not be directly linked to the management research, this is some of the research over the last decade that has been published in non-management journals. So the most prominent ones are accounting, economics, finance, anthropology, and sociology that are very, very, very much becoming interested in family business research, particularly because of the link and the crossover between the business and the management aspect and the life of the family itself. Some of the most active authors, if you do feel the need to network with them, are Lloyd Steyer, Jim Chrisman, and Jess Chua. Franz Kellermans, who actually was my dissertation chair a few years ago, so I'm glad to see him on the list. That is those are probably the 4, maybe the 5 that are the most active at the moment. The most active institutions in family business research are Mississippi State University, my alma mater. That's partly why I became interested in the topic. University of Alberta, Jönköping University in Sweden, University of Calgary. Actually, Bocconi University here in Italy is a huge center for family business research as well. And these are the most active authors in terms of their network sizes, in terms of their network impact. So the degree centrality, neighborhood size, and between the centrality measures usually point to about 3 and 4 on the very top. These are the measures of how important those people are in the network, how many people they actually network together through which you can develop some relationships. This is just a scheme of what that network looks like. And this is a list, if you're interested, of some of the most seminal pieces in family business research. Please don't be fooled by that name on the very last one. I put it on there. I wouldn't ever consider it a seminal piece, but it is a summary of family business research in the decade from 2001 to 2009. If you're interested, you can read that, and it'll give you sort of a summary of who is who in that particular realm. Everything else on that list is a very seminal piece, except that last one. Thank you very much for your attention. I really appreciate being here. Have a great day and have a great conference.
Thank you, Professor Debitsky. Next keynote speaker will be Professor Angelo Vacca from University of Bari, and deliver his keynote speech entitled The Human Capacity Building and the Environmental Sustainability in Higher Education, Green University, University of Bari as an example.
Morning. Thank you very much for all of you for coming here in Bari, in our town and our university. I'd like also to thank my magnificus Professor Antonio Ricchio for inviting me to this talk. And also I'm indebted with Professor Filomena Corbo of Department of Pharmacy and Drug Science and Dr. Anna Maria De Marinis Loiotile of Department of Chemistry for helping me a lot in preparation of this talk. I will focus on some aspects, on some guidelines of Horizon 2020 program, which is the most important program for socio-economical sciences and other disciplines in Europe. And also I will focus on some ideas and some projects of our university in line with this plan. We have several points to be discussed in this talk, which is Horizon 2020 as a strategy for smart, sustainable and inclusive growth, which are the most important pillars for this program, and also the cohesion policies, which is a very nice and important project in the Horizon 2020 program, which increases and improves the cohesion policies in all Europe and all European regions. Also, it is important to discuss on the smart specialization strategy, which is a document provided by all regions, including our region, the Apulia region, and also know with the acronym RIS3. Also, we have a document in line with the Horizon 2020 project, which is Smart Puglia 2020. We have some ideas in response to this project, especially including the University of Bari Green University project. And also, we improve creativity of young people as a tool for social inclusion. This is an important point for Horizon 2020. And also several tools for promoting scientific excellence in our country. As you know, Horizon 2020 project has been started in all Europe and is based on several pillars, which are smart growth, which promotes knowledge and innovation, sustainable growth, which induces several programs based on greener and competitive economy, and also inclusive growth, which is important for social cohesion. All these pillars are focused on promoting high levels of jobs and employment, productivity and social cohesion, excellent science, competitive industries, and in towards a better society. Several years ago, we had knowledge on European Union money which was spent in Europe, and now Horizon 2020 invests about 15 billion per year, which corresponds to 34% of total budget. Several years ago, a lot of money were distributed in the Europe regions, including our region, and we were active in promoting several programs which were inducing more jobs, which were inducing more activities in industries, but these activities were not enough to spend money, so that several money come back to Europe. Now we have several guidelines of Horizon 2020 program which guide ourselves in spending well money, especially in improving linking between European community, academic community, industries, and people in general. So we have several programs. One of these is the Research and Innovation Strategies for Smart Specialization, known with the acronym RIS3, which is important to link business, public entities, and knowledge institutions to have more needs for local economy and to produce a greater impact on regional development. We have several institutions which form this document. For example, university at first place, especially the University of Bari, of Foggia, of Lecce, of Taranto. And also we have small, medium enterprises and industries in general. We have private institutions such as banks and economic intermediates. We have scientific parks and scientific districts. Also, we point to human capital in identify young talents. Other institutions are, for example, medical associations or industrial associations. All of these are linked in giving this document. And another important document in line with Horizon 2020 in our region is the document Smart Puglia 2020, which has several goals. For example, enhancement of young talents and in general human capital, enhance competencies, enhance social and environmental challenges, and also to link together several areas with product and services innovation. All of these actions are important to share knowledge, and in this respect we have created the so-called BALAB, which will be shown you after. And also we have several ideas to support competitiveness and job creation. All these activities are included in the Smart Puglia 2020 document. And which is the role of the University of Bari in this document? We have pointed especially to a project which is called Piano Strategico di Ateneo. This is a strategic plan which is based on the bridging research, industry and society, and to promote social cohesion and innovation. The Piano Strategico di Ateneo is based on the third mission, which is an important part of the Piano Strategico because it links professors, students, graduates with industry. This project, the Piano Strategico di Ateneo, is based on several lines, which is, for example, the need in presentation, technological and research activities, which is to create links between companies and the public administration, which is to select an important know-how of our researchers. And this Piano Strategico di Ateneo is an important plan because it is an indicator for the performance evaluation of our university. Objectives is of the third mission in the Piano Strategico is to have more structured relationships between research and education supply, and to promote linking between networking in several actors of our Apulia region, for example, networking between university, public administration and companies, and to share knowledge in several actors of our university. We have several policies, for example, pointing to a green university. The Green University of Bari is several plans to produce a linking between academic community and public administration and students. For example, we were included in this project, which is called the UE Green Metric World University Ranking. This project is a project which compares our university with several European university and Italian university in terms of environmental sustainability, which is based on several criteria, And these criteria are especially pointing on several green actions, for example, proper use of water, proper use of energy, especially green energy, proper use of transports, waste recycling, and so on. And in this UE Green Metric ranking in 2014, we were taken the 3rd place in Italy. In the Europe, we were in a good place. For example, the 1st place was taken by the University of Nottingham in UK with the score 7.8. Another important place was taken by the University College Cork in the National University of Ireland with the score 7.5. And the 3rd place with the Nottingham Trent University in UK with the score 7.5. In Italy, we were the 3rd place after Bologna University 1st place, University of Turin 2nd place, and the score was important because it was 5.6. In this plan, we have several projects. For example, we created a Committee for Environmental Policy Protection and the Quality of Life, called also COPAQ document, and we were the first in Italy to be credited as educational center and environmental experience, also known as CEEA. And in this respect, we, for example, projected to plan the Ciclo Attivi at Università of Bari, which allows about 100 bicycles to the campus community in both professors and student community. Another project is TALSEF, which is an acronym indicating Taranto. Taranto is a town near Bari, in the south of Bari. Taranto in sunlight and the photovoltaic energy, which uses very well energy, especially green energy and renewable energy sources. In this respect, we also have activities in target the entire academic population, both professors and students as well as graduates, to do a door-to-door information to reduce emissions of carbon dioxide. And in this respect, we have several activities which are listed below: energy saving, emission reduction, waste reduction and recycling, urban mobility from to campus, reduction of materials consumption, the so-called dematerialization. For example, we have several activities in this respect. In the waste reduction and recycling, we have planned information, a door-to-door information to students or to people in general. In terms of human mobility, there is an Enel agreement. Enel is the area where it is produced and administered the energy, and the Enel agreement includes electric cars to be used by the people population or professor or student population. Another agreement is called ISFORT, which is to indicate Institute of Education and Research for Transport, which sensitizes students and citizens in general for sustainable mobility, especially walking mobility and the use of public transport. Also, we have environmental report according to ISPRA method, which is based on these activities outlining the Green University of Bari. Another important point of our project is to give a cultural contamination, and in this respect, we have created a Future Lab. Future Lab is a place where students, where professors meet together and share ideas, share programs, plan new projects. And this is important to produce a knowledge contamination, a business initiative and innovation, and new learning protocols. And in this way, we have selected several people. This is the BALAB experience, the BALAB project, to create a different university for a different future. And in this respect, we have selected people aging 18 to 35 years, and we selected 150 ideas and 42 proposals, which are focusing on pillars of Horizon 2020 program. I am very indebted with several colleagues belonging to several disciplines of our university. We have an area of research which is formed by several professors and colleagues deriving from mathematics and informatics, from veterinary, from social science in general, for literature, for physics, for medicine, biology, and biotechnology, and all colleagues are listed here, and they help very much me in this activity, which is focused especially to have a better university and towards a better life. Thank you very much for attention.
Thank you, Professor Vaca. This concludes the keynote speeches. And now we have all deserved a short coffee break, which will be followed by the Rectors Forum at 11:30. But before the coffee break, we will have a photo session at the main university entrance. The group photo will be taken from above, from the windows. So when going outside, please follow our conference staff at the exits. And when the camera smiles at you, give it a big smile back. Manda buone, eh? Sei fine. Cool. Kao zdaj. Ne bo. Šefe, Antonija ne bo. Ne? we will begin shortly with the Rectors Forum. We are just waiting for some other panelists. The coffee was really good, apparently. So. Before we begin with the Rectors Forum, let me just inform you that the conference opening has been carried out in two separate halls, Salone degli Affreschi and Aula Magna, and if any of the participants would like also to see the Aula Magna of the university are of course welcome to visit it after the Rectors Forum. It is a very beautiful hall with even more fresky than this one. And now we will begin with the Rectors Forum. All panelists are already seated. Rectors Forum will be chaired by Professor Dr. Antonio Uricchio.
Thanks again to be here. I'm very pleased that the Rectors Forum is opening with large participation in this room and in the other room in the Aula Magna. You are invited to visit our university. University of Bari has a long tradition. At the beginning was a private institution and then became, on 1925, a public university. Now it's devoted to Aldo Moro, that, as I told before, was a student, professor, and prime minister, and is one of the biggest universities in our country. It's the fifth as number of students in Italy. We have about 60,000 students with many departments, 24 departments, and many professors, 2,000 more or less professors, and of course many courses, 124 courses in different fields. We are very happy for your participation to this event because we are sure that this opportunity to establish a relationship, to open cooperation, could be an opportunity for all of us. Universities are changing. We are now in a very important moment for our history. We have many challenges in globalization is one of the challenges. Sustainability is the other. Inclusive society, the other topics. But I think that all these problems or these are opportunities. In a moment of crisis of our economy and in a period of cuts of public funds devoted to university. So we have the opportunity to cooperate, to establish relationship, to imagine projects in the different fields of our topics. And of course, that I'm sure that this event, very important for our university, could be a very important opportunity for the rectors, for the professors, and for the students. I think that we can start to cooperate. We have started some years ago in the project MakeLearn. There is not only a conference, it's a project, it's a vision of university management, and is a way to analyze problems and to imagine solutions. Discussing, imagine opportunities, developing programs. I think that's the best way to increase the development of our world. That is not the world of research and of didactic activity, but I think this is the world in which a global citizen had to live in the future. Thanks. Now, birthday.
Yes. Oh, I'm next.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Since I'm next, yeah, we continue this way. Since I'm sit next to Antonio. Okay. Thank you for being here. Let me tell you a little bit about เกษตรศาสตร์ in half second. Okay, so this way you know, you get a glimpse idea of what Kasetsat is all about. Kasetsat is one of the biggest closed university. We have 65,000 students, okay, over 10,000 researchers and staff. We have 4 campuses, so we are quite a big university. And we have been working with partners around the world. The ideas of being or doing things at Kasetsat University is that we believe that research belongs to international arena. So basically, the research does not only belong to each particular university. That's the idea of setting up team conference, because team is basically the venue that can gather all people, all faces around the world to come here and create good things for the world. We are trying to move Kasetsat from good university to great university. But the problem is that how do you define good and define great university? That's very difficult. Okay, we are good university, but by the world standard, Kasetsat will never be able to rank among 100 level, in terms of good university in the world, QS or time higher education, because those universities has less than 10,000 students. We are a very big university, so we are looking for to be probably not the best university in the world, but we are looking to make us to become one of the most important university in the world. When I say important university, what do I mean? Important university is meaning that you need to have something good, something that people need it, something that people will come to you and look for you. Okay, so the director job, the dean jobs, even the head of the department become the person who act as a liaison, who become a person who search for budget, who search for grant, who gets for established network, research work. So basically, we are having a sense of entrepreneurial. We need to have a sense of entrepreneurial skill in order to move university forward. At the end, okay, we want university to be idea-driven faculty, okay, because we need the ideas come first, okay. We have been talking about commercialized product, commercialized research. We forgot that we can commercialize idea, we can commercialize knowledge, we can commercialize our feeling. So that's the meaning of competing in the university today. Okay, so I encourage you, for those who come in here, okay, and for those students, we have 40 executive MBA students here from Thailand to come here. This is just to show that this is a good beginning for our students also to come and see what happened here in Bari, okay, which basically is not the tourist destination, but you have a good stuff, you have a lot of good things, but most of people come here, go to Rome, Milano, but this is a lot of kind of, have to have a good intention to come. So that's why even for our students, before they come here, they're wondering, why do we have to come here? Okay, because it's kind of, it's not the place that tourists coming, but at the same time, this is an opportunity for them to come here and meet with, your student, meet with the colleague, meet with professor. And I think at the end, okay, we need to start working together, because we need to understand that today university cannot stand alone. So that's the purpose of being here, being in the Rector Forum. And thank you for inviting us. And we do hope that we can work together more often, okay? And start from small series of small success, small project. And hopefully then the big jigsaw will finish soon. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Rasamitis. Next to speak will be Dr. Claudio Chifor from Lucian Blaga University of Sârbu from Romania.
Thank you. Good morning. My name is Claudio Chifor. I come from Lucian Blaga University of Sibiu, Romania. I'm Vice Rector here, and I coordinate the research activity and doctoral study. A few words about the city, because Sibiu is a small city situated in the middle of Romania. It's a historical one, a cultural one. It 2007 we were European Capital of Culture, and hopefully in 2019 we will be the European Capital of Gastronomy. There are many important projects and events in Romania. For instance, we have in Sibiu, we have the third theater festival in the world, and in all these projects, my university, Lucian Blaga University of Sibiu, is a key partner. And now a few words about the university. It is not such a big university. We have about 17,000 students. We have 9 faculties, but for various fields. We have about 100 bachelor program and more than 100 master program. International cooperation is very important for us. We are very much involved in Erasmus project, a lot of mobility, especially with Europe, but we also have a very good cooperation with the university from Asia. For instance, in our university was the first Confucius Institute, the Chinese Cultural Institute in Romania. So we have a very good partnership with China, but not only with many universities from Asia. So we can discuss this, we can detail this because we are very much involved in Erasmus Mundus program and also in Erasmus Plus project. Also another issue that is very important in my opinion is the cooperation with the industry. We are lucky because in my region there are many important companies and we have a strategic partnership with this company. We have a common study program. We cooperate in research. We cooperate actually at every level, even at PhD level, especially with the company having research and development. So here maybe we can detail because being in such cooperation is the win-win, so each of the party win from such experience. At the end, I'd like to thank the organizer and University of Bari for inviting us to this conference. Congratulations for this very good organization. We signed yesterday a partnership with the University of Bari, and I would like to thank you very much for the rector, and we can assure that this memorandum of understanding will be not only on the paper, but of course there will be soon exchange at different level research project cooperation. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Kifor. Next to speak will be Professor Zbigniew Pastuzak from Maria Curie Skłodowska University from Poland.
Thank you very much. Welcome, everybody. I'm Zbigniew Pastuzak. I represent rector of the university. As for now, I am on the position of the dean of one of the faculties, my university, the Faculty of Economics. And the rector is trying to resolve a huge problem, as usually rectors have to do. I mean, the money problem. I am very happy because my faculty is very rich. We have plus in the budget, and the rector has minus in the budget of the university, so he is still in Poland, and I am here with my group of people. Thank you once again for inviting us to this conference, as well as to this very beautiful place. And once again, thanks to rector, to our host, for hospitality of people, of you as a staff and students and administration. We are impressed because of the people and location and everything. The university, MCSU, is one of the biggest universities in Poland. We have now about 36,000 of students. Around 10%, less than 10% of them, there are people from abroad, mostly from Ukraine, because we are observing year by year the growing group of students from abroad willing to study in Poland. And in Lublin, partly because of the location close to the Ukrainian border, partly because of the security and the very, very low prices for the tuition fees that we can offer. The university is quite big. We have 12 faculties. This year, we celebrate 70 anniversary of the university, so it was established 70 years ago. But to tell the truth, the university was a source, was a route for the other universities located in Poland, in Lublin city, because the University of Technology, Medical University, Life Science University, they were created 70 years ago as one university. And during the years, the university was divided by different pieces, different kind of research. So if we summarize the number of students, we can go close to 100,000 students, one city. So it is quite big group of students. If we talk about my university, we have about 3,500 staff. A half of them, they are academic staff. The rest is the administration and supporting staff. I'm really happy because I feel myself as one of co-organizers of this conference, because when I'm looking at this room, your faces, I see many friends, personal friends of mine from Slovenia, from Thailand, from Taiwan, from Turkey, from Czech Republic. I can list the names of countries that were involved a few years ago in the creation of the idea of a MakeLearn and team conferences. Year by year, the group of co-organizers and local co-organizers, co-competitors is going bigger and bigger. And I'm really happy. I think Srečko, Dean from Slovenia, and Konkiti, Bordin, we are all the group friends happy that the number of co-organizing institutions and partners is growing. And this is, I think, a really good idea for the development of science and scientific contacts, because without contacts we are nobody. The world is very small, so we have to have some common projects to develop our offer to students, our offer to customers, our contact with the industry, etc. So, what can I say more? Thank you very much to listen to me.
Thank you, Professor Pastusak. Next speaker will be Dr. Marian Mocan from Polytechnica University of Timisoara from Romania.
Hello everybody. I represent today the Polytechnica University of Timisoara. I'm Dean of the Faculty of Management in Production and Transportation. My rector, Viorel Aurel Șerban, sent his regards, and he wants to be here, but it's impossible to be in the same place, in the same hour, in 3 different locations. Maybe in the future we can find a solution for this, but in this moment it's impossible. I'm glad to hear that the money problem is not common only in Romania. You have the same problem in another countries. It's a good point. The globalization, it's working. Short presentation of my city. Timisoara is the city of revolution, Romanian revolution in 1989. We are very proud that we start the fight against the communism in our country with dead and problem, but we are the first city in Romania who is free of communism. That is very important for us. The university is the oldest university in Timisoara. We have this year 95 years already. We have 15,000 students, 10 faculties, 26 research centers, a lot of international relationship with many affiliations. For us, it's very important that the clients is our students, and also our partner are the enterprises and the investors in our region. We have very good relationship with factories from Timișoara and from western part of Romania, and we try to implement that in terms of practical applications, in terms of curriculum. Each program has in the board at least one member from the industry. That is very important, and we try to be very close with the industry, because usually, as you know, the university are behind the industry with 4 or 5 years. We try to be only with 2, if it's possible. We are very proud that we are one of the best 12 universities in Romania. The last 5 years before, when was the first ranking in our country, the first 12 university was in Romania. One of that was Polytechnica University. What can I do? We are very proud that we have a very good very good condition for our students, a sportive base with everything. The last month we had an accreditation committee, international accreditation committee in a European project, and the representative from Germany was very surprised. He told us that he visited a lot of universities in Romania, in Europe, and not only in Europe, and our facilities are the best. That is very important for us. Will be a big challenge in the future in terms to receive the students, because they ask not only for the good professor, but only for the good facility for sports, for accommodation, for food, for everything. Okay, I think if you have additional question or any question, I'm here to respond. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Kifor. Next speaker will be Dr. Karim Mustakfir from Al Akhawain University in Ifrane from Morocco.
Thank you very much. I would like also first of all to thank the organizers, thank also the host institution. Nice place, nice people, and we all had actually a great opportunity also to build nice networking occasions and also opportunities. So here I'm not a rector, so I don't know if this will disappoint someone. But anyway, so I'm speaking actually on behalf of the rector, and I will actually so give my own perspective with regards particularly to innovation, intellectual capital, and sustainability, and the role of higher education in general. First of all, usually when we talk about innovation, it's always linked to another concept, which is performance. Performance is not just a matter actually of the activities and the tasks and what we deliver, something that we quantify. Performance is also contextual. It's a matter of the opportunities that we create in order to improve societal well-being and psychological well-being of citizens in a specific region. So here within this framework, I would like also to share with you just some reflections. As we always say in management, we don't have answers. We only have choices. So here I will be actually trying also to share with you some actually of those potential choices. Over the last years, based actually on some research that has been conducted by some scholars with regards to the higher education and actually the development of higher education and the evolution of higher education, something that has triggered my attention was an interesting fact that the world changes. We have technological changes, technological discontinuities, we have globalization and so on, but still we have actually so the same model of higher education. Higher education doesn't change. The same operations, the same things, the same actually, I would say, delivery processes, the same roles and so on and so on. So here, yeah, how or to what extent can we deliver actually such innovation or such an expected change or contribute to some extent to regional development if we are not somehow representing that model of change itself. So somehow we are expected actually so to contribute to entrepreneurship, to self-employment, right, among other things, but ourselves, we don't exhibit those behaviors. So this is somehow a paradox. So we are expected actually so to deliver a service and we don't have it ourselves. So somehow I think that we should actually rethink 4 things. So first of all, our mission. Second, our strategy. Third, our structure. And fourth, our culture. In terms of mission, we need actually to shift from, I would say, a model of higher education in society to a model of higher education of society. If we want actually to drive change, we are actually the institution, at least at the regional level, that is expected to produce knowledge. And when we talk about knowledge here, we are referring to that knowledge that is useful, that will have an impact in terms of innovation, in terms of overall performance. However, still, anyway, so we are witnessing somehow that ivory tower limitations. So many people have been talking about the triple helix, combining the industry, the university, and also the government. So here, I think that we are actually, so to become reliable patrons, we need actually also to drive such a process of change, and we need actually also to demonstrate to the other partners, namely industry and the government, the added value that we can deliver and we can actually so contribute. So somehow there is an ongoing debate of how we can develop a university model based on the entrepreneurial university. So entrepreneurship exhibited in various processes and demonstrated through what we do. So in terms of strategy, strategic thinking is also a must. So do we think really strategically? Like, for instance, in terms of intellectual capital, is there any connection between our resources, our objectives, our mission, and the expectations that others do have? There are also limitations. Yes, strategic thinking is good, but there are limitations in terms of budget, for instance. The funds are shrinking. We all know that, right? Cost containment is on everyone's agenda. But again, it's a matter actually of looking for other financial sources. So instead of just seeking actually public funding. In some cases, anyway, so another model that triggered me, particularly in the Mediterranean area, that we find that industry is doing research on behalf of universities. So here, they are getting actually so public funds to do research for the university. So is this really a sustainable model? So what is our role in terms of education and research again? And so we need also to think, as I already mentioned, also or rethink our structures. So streamlining our systems. We all know that at the managerial level, and I'm so sorry anyway, so we have rectors here and we have officers. So, but we need also to demonstrate much more flexibility. So we still have that bureaucratic control. So we focus on rules, we focus on regulations, policies, procedures, but how about the outcome itself? So strategic thinking means that we should have a system that is objective-oriented in terms of management, political system, human resource system, the financial system. So all those are subsystems that really need somehow an interesting and crucial also rethinking. And just to, at the end, so when talking about actually knowledge production, yeah, we are developing knowledge, but still we teach what we know, but not necessarily what the others need. We publish just to get actually promotions, but not actually to have an impact in society, right? So we need actually to also think about particularly this process and these operations. So this will bring us to a new culture somehow. a culture where we'll find real academic managers. So we have academics managing universities, but we don't have necessarily the management culture there. So in terms of knowledge management, project management, strategic management, and so on and so on. So those are crucial aspects. So academic management. And at the same time, if we want also to demonstrate entrepreneurial learning, it's not just through the soft skills that we cultivate in curriculum or instructional design. It's a matter also of leading also change. So as academics, we are expected also to become somehow entrepreneurial scientists, taking initiative, demonstrating critical thinking, demonstrating analytical skills, taking risks, and so on and so on. So those are just modest reflections that I wanted actually to share with you with regards to these four major aspects, so namely mission, strategy, structure, and culture, to accompany somehow societal innovation, sustainability, development, and regional growth. So somehow those are, in my view, some assumptions or pillars that represent the foundations of an interesting model of regional universities or entrepreneurial university. And thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Mustakfir. And thank you to all the panelists for their presentations and their views. Now we will take some questions from the participants regarding the contemporary challenges of universities to our panelists. So, if there is any question, yes?
Thank you. Really, to any of you, what is your view on online instruction, online education, or perhaps hybrid education? Should we be more focused on delivering as education, perhaps in a slightly diminished form, to as many students as possible? Or should we be more concerned about the loss of potential quality and the human interaction in education? Or should we somehow try to strike a balance, especially since online education seems to be resolving some of the financial problems that some of the universities around the world currently have?
Yes. Okay, I'll respond to that. Okay, of course, the fact is that online education is important, but you cannot escape the fact that online education has to go with on-site education. Okay, it depends on how you want to call it. You want to call it hybrid or whatever, but I call online on-site. So in the other word, you still need the interaction. Okay, you still need to be face-to-face. But definitely the problem of being, I'm talking in the level of being a president or rector of university. The problem now is that the president or director are losing control now. Okay, losing control because success depends not only on you, but depending on influential people around you. That include dean, okay, head of the department, and students themselves. So basically, right now, everybody is talking about online. We're focusing on only one thing, which is, education. But the thing that evolves in terms of producing good education is more than just the curriculum. It's more than just the student. It's involved with the party that I was saying that you cannot control by money or by force, because this is academic world. So we are very challenging, okay, not only for online, but of course online education is coming and has been coming for such a long time. But the thing is that to what extent the online can change, okay, what we are basically teaching now, because we are still using traditional materials, teaching, we say, okay, we have online on top, but still the way we're thinking, the textbook that we are using, the interaction with students still more or less about the same. So to me, I think online education is something that we need to do it. But at the same time, the on-site education also very important. Otherwise, all the building that we have been building, probably nobody will use it. Okay, and then we will be in trouble, especially in my university. We have lots of building right now. And in the future, we do not expect, because in the past, we have increased the number of students. So we have to build, the building and accommodation to fit with those high number of students. But we are thinking that in the long run, we are probably in trouble now, because to keep up with the maintenance and all the costs and everything involved with it. Okay, then the learning ways of learning is changing, like you mentioning, the online is coming. So what are we going to do with that building? Nobody is going to use it, the classroom and everything. So I tend to think that online should still mix with on-site education. For the purpose of, I have so many buildings.
In my opinion, the present the best approach is a hybrid one, but in the future, of course, it will be the online. But some problems, in my opinion. We still do not have quality standards for online education. There are some university providing even a certificate and no quality standard. Maybe some standards international recognized will be the best solution. I can say that we are in a European project coordinated by a university from Germany, working to establish, to proposing such a standard. But of course, a different level, especially at master level, the future will be online, mostly. Thank you.
To add something, for sure we are doing this hybrid education, but sometimes you have some kind of obstacles, administrative or formal or organizational, etc. In Poland, for example, if you do like to supply some kind of the e-learning activities, you can use no more than 10% of your program to do it. I mean, the 90% will you are obliged to supply face-to-face, in face-to-face education. I completely agree with Bourdin that the education process, especially on the higher education level, the high level, is the social level. I mean, we need to have the contacts, face-to-face contact with people. We have to talk, because what can offer the online education? You can get the materials online, you can get some advice, you can do the synchronic not synchronic contact with your students, that's all. But if someone has a real problem to discuss, real idea, it is, I think, you are wasting your time using your keyboard and contact online. It's easier to meet personally somebody and to talk. This is the reason that we are here as a conference participants, right? There is many online conference. I prefer real conference, and you too, as can I see. So this is the. So, thank you. Okay, I have to finish, right? Thank you.
Okay, we can have. You can analyze which type of program, which type of study we can provide online. The engineering, that's the problem. Maybe for another type of programs. Second, all the university need money, need students. How many students? Where is the quality of the university, real university? They must communicate not only at keyboard, they must speak, they must to listen, to work in team. How you work in team in front of a computer. it's difficult. In our university we have some online programs, but not so many. And I'm supporter of the traditional education myself. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Challenging question. Again, no answer, just question, just choices. Yeah. So, yeah, and technology is there. So we cannot really ignore it, in my view. So in higher education, we should actually integrate such technology in our curriculum. But the problem of technology is not actually the device itself. So what kind actually of technologies you will be using. It's a matter particularly of the design and the delivery, how to make content appealing. Since this is a self-paced learning mechanism, so the problem is how to attract learners and how to make sure that learners will really acquire learning material. So it's not just about acquiring knowledge, but acquiring learning material, ensuring that there is also an impact in terms of their behaviors, and there is a clear translation of what they learn back to a job experience, or a job opportunity or an innovation opportunity. So again, I see some challenges here, namely in terms of instructional design. So what kind of content? And for that content, then we should think about the technology. So the content comes first. Second, yeah, again, through technology, we can share most of the time knowledge, but not necessarily experience. So the behavioral experience is missing. I saw systems, really revolutionary systems. Revolutionary systems including like social networks, including also, I saw even Second Life. Now they are experimenting with e-learning, trying also to duplicate the virtual campus online, right? So it's amazing, you know? So the curriculum, the schedule, everything. Imagine that you will have access to a platform and you will have the university, you will have instructors and everything there. But again, so is this something that will substitute for the real university? I don't think so. I don't think so. That's why I personally do believe in the blended learning mechanisms. We can have actually a transfer of knowledge through such online platforms, but we should conceive and still consider that behavioral experience that we should really cultivate in our learning mechanisms. So, but again, it's a problem also of changing the culture, the mindset. We have new generations, they have new needs, and so on and so on. If we do keep just teaching people what is in the textbook, I'm sure that anyway, so internet will substitute for existing universities, right? So what would be the added value? So where we can really add value, something that technology so has or can really represent, where the technology can represent significant limitations.
Hello, and sorry for me showing so late. I was supposed to be a replacement of the rector, but I was giving one interview to the television, and I do apologize for that. I was asked to chair the forum, and thanks for the question and 5 answers for the question, so this is really a rare opportunity. Usually it's opposite round, and I would appreciate if we could get some more questions from you. I would prefer going slightly different. We still have some time. I would like to collect or to gather the questions from your side, and then we will see who will do the answering, if you don't mind. So please, you are welcome. So you're afraid if you will raise questions that all 5 of them will answer. No, actually what we experienced is actually how demanding it is to be a rector. I hope that you haven't compared the list of the rectors who were supposed to show up here and their the guys who showed up here as in their name. So no questions. If there are no questions, then I would kindly ask the members of the forum to wrap up and to contribute with 1 sentence what would be their main message about the topic which with which the forum was dealing with. P. Bodin, may we start with you? One sentence in which you will try to wrap up the message to the audience. Shall we, may we go? From the other side. Oh.
Something like make laugh and not war, right? Okay.
So, Karim, may you, please, let's go different way.
Propose the process. Yeah, sure. So this is more than a wrap-up session. I think that this is just an invitation actually for everyone who is working in academia, actually, so to think out of the box, right? So try actually also to consider new venues for development, consider actually new ways of building capacity, of developing the right skills that I will not call it actually also the market, but the society at large will need. How actually also to foster, I would say, clear collaboration opportunities with industry, with government, how actually also to somehow drive change at the society level, and how actually also to be the leader of those local, regional, and national and international innovation systems. So it's a matter actually so of just considering new development in venues. Otherwise, we will be just again lagging behind industry and asking industry actually also to substitute for university while doing research, and probably in the future also while even teaching. And we see that consulting firms are also embarking on education now. So they are delivering degrees, they are actually providing continuing education and so on and so on. So competition is there. So what would be the role of higher education in the future if we keep doing the same things over and over? Thank you.
Thank you, Karim. Marianne,
Okay,
please.
I will be very short. Be proactive, learn all the time, have good collaboration, good communication. Don't think that you are the best, because you have all the time to learn something. Thank you.
Thank you. Very good. Zbigniew.
I think we have to be the same like we are now, because I'm sure everyone is doing very good his or her job. But shortly speaking, I think we have to be more tutors and less teachers. I mean, if we will focus on our customer as well as partner, student and colleagues from the staff, from the academia, we will do better our job, and we will be better recognized by our customers as well as the environment, I mean administration and other academics. So more tutor-oriented and less teacher-oriented activities. Thank you.
Thank you. Claudia.
Of course, there are many ideas, many priorities. One of them, we consider the students our partner, because sometimes we are saying, okay, the students are not prepared enough, it's difficult to come to the classes and do something, but I think it's a wrong idea. We have to consider the student as a partner, and trying to involve the student in different activity and work with the student. We have a lot of experience and a lot of good cases, and I think this is a good suggestion. Thank you.
Thank you very much. P. Bordin, please.
P. Bodin. Oh, okay, P. Dusen. Okay. As a university, you have to create a new kind of research. You need to try new things. Okay, you need to try the stream that never tried before anywhere else in the world. I think this is such a good opportunity that we gather here, and I think it's such a good time that even though we cannot change the world, but if we start working together, we can start from smaller projects, as I mentioned before, and hopefully things will be better for us as a university, and also everybody here, and also for the world. Thank you for coming, and thank you for participating in Team and MakeLearn conference.
Thank you very much, dear colleagues and friends. These were really very nice thoughts, and I will try to combine them if possible. Karim, I fully agree that we have to go out of the box. Actually, we went out of the box, otherwise we wouldn't be here. I'm pretty much sure about that. And through collaboration, we could be better. We know that we are not the best, but we could be better with the collaboration, with the projects, with steps, small projects. By that, we are changing ourselves, and as well as when we change ourselves, we change the world as well. And that could not be done without students. Students are important. We have to hear them more. They have to be more present. And this is something what Zbigniew, what you have said is at least my practice as well as. I do not teach anymore. I more tutor, advise, and support what students would like to do. So thank you for your participation here with us, and thanks to the members of the forum. And I think that now it's time to end this session. Thank you very much.
Following will be an invitation to the next year's MakeLearn and Team Conference in Romania by Professor Nada Trunc-Șirța and Professor Anca Draghici.
Dear participants from, I think, 44 countries, from different parts of the world, and I think more than half are the followers of the conference MakeLearn, which is this year for the first time joined with the team conference, and we are planning to do this also in the next years. I would like to stress that this conference is maybe a special type of conference because it brings together the people, the researchers from different fields, mainly from the management, innovation, technology, and what is also important, young and the more experienced senior researchers. And we don't the people are mixing during the excursions, during the coffee breaks, and so on. And I think this is one of the opportunities also for the future of such a conference. As you saw, we are today in Bari. Very nice pictures of Bari. If some of you visited yesterday the city tour of Bari and had the wonderful experience with leche cake. And we will continue tomorrow the network session, also at visiting the Matera, which is one of the UNESCO city here in the neighborhood. So the concept of the organizers of the conference is that we are three main co-organizers each year. This is the international school in Celje, the Kasexata University from Bangkok, and the Lublin Maria Curie Skolowska from Lublin. And each year we add the institution who is the local co-organizer. This year was the University Aldo Moro from Bari, and the next year is the university, the Polytechnica in Timișoara. I think that you already heard about the team conferences. This is from 2010, okay? And now we are joining Bari and Timișoara for sure. And we started 2 years later the MakeLearn conference, and also now those conferences are going around the Europe. We are not taking the same place each year. And this is also an advantage of such a conference. And now, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Thank you very much, and I would like to, I don't know where is the camera to the guests from the other room, but I think everybody saw me. Thank you. It's an honor and a privilege to invite you next year in the end of May to a lovely city in the eastern part of Europe, which is called Timișoara, and it's located in the west part of Romania. And first of all, I would like to thank you very much for this experience of MakeLearn conference and team conference joined together, to the organizers from the Aldo Moro University in Bari. And I would like to give my special thanks to the Magnifico Rector that facilitate myself and for my colleagues from Romania to do a little bit of espionage in the backside of the stage of this big, huge event. So thank you very much, dear colleagues from Italy, that you managed very well this year. We will see the special or the main examination test that will be this evening during the gala banquet. I think that will be magnificent also. Thank you in advance. And then I would like to thanks to the other partners that are involved all the time till 2010, you have seen our common history. I have joined the club, may I say so, from 2011 when I pushed my PhD students to go in Celje for the conference and for the PhD workshop. And started from this year, we have built a very nice and close relationship. And I could tell you that what you see here, it's only the surface of our collaboration. Because in deeply, we have now common books open, so you can read it from the Tuno Press. We have common articles, and this year I think it's a record of our community, which has become larger and larger each year, and this year we have a record of articles all over the world and a huge number of participants. For me, coming from Timișoara, Romania, from the Polytechnica University, it's a big challenge. First of all, because I will have to be perfect as organizer, as local organizer. And second, probably you have noticed the logo. And I would like you all to visualize this logo. The logo for the next years, or the main ideas behind your papers, your contribution for the next year should be, or we would like to be, managing innovation and diversity. And you have noticed from the previous speakers, from my colleagues from the informal discussion, that this community has benefit for a large diversity of inputs, cultures mainly, backgrounds of the researchers, etc., etc. So you have to consider managing innovation and diversity in knowledge society through turbulent time. It was the logo that was delivered also by the contribution of the 4 traditional partners, may I say so, for the next year. And to be shortly, I would like to introduce, you have seen also the pictures and also some pictures from our university on the roll-up that it's in the hotel lobby. Thank you very much for being curious. So, I would like you to keep in your mind for the next year the contribution, the articles that you suggested to be a contribution to the next conferences. And when I start to prepare my speech, I have in my mind a special requirement or a special invitation for the young generation of researchers. Because I saw here lovely tutors, lovely mentors. I have some nice items of discussions from the last conferences, from all of different cultures that we meet together. So I have kept in my mind some examples of best practices, of best behavior in the conference environment, in a diverse community like ours. But I would ask you, the senior researchers, to encourage PhD students to come and join the club, to come and present their fabulous articles and their intention of research, their results research. Thank you very much. We will have for these PhD students some special reunion organized by Professor Bin-Chan Lin. Each year he is very dedicated to this panel of young researchers. He taught them each year how to write a good paper, how to be accepted in the ICI journal, your paper, your research results. For this, I would like you all to thank him, and I would like to thank him very much for this opportunity that gave to the young generation of researchers to learn and to listen from his experience in the field of top publishing, may I say so. Of course, I have speak about the Tuno Press that is behind our proceeding. It's behind our books, our common books together also. And as you probably have noticed, you will find some details on the webpage of the conference. Tuno Press is also a joint effort of the traditional universities that collaborate in this community. And now some practical issues. I don't know if you are curious for the moment or not, but we will have the same formula, successful formula till 2010, I mean. And keep in mind that somewhere in the middle of January, we will expect the first ideas, the first abstract, and then you will be followed by some messages for the organizing committee from the scientific committee. We will do review as you are already used. So this is a schedule, and the most important thing is to prepare yourself for a lovely trip in the west part of Romania. During the days of 27th, 28th of May, there will be the event in the middle of the city. We will choose. We have already visited the location, and together with my colleagues from the organizing committee, we established some details, and you will find everything just settled on the webpage. So I assume that the most important thing here that came in your mind is where is Timișoara? Timișoara, as you have noticed there in the map, it's located in the west part of the city, near the border with Hungary and near the border with Serbia and closer to Bulgaria. That's why we have a lot of projects, so-called trans-border projects, even in the field of education or in different other fields of common interest. Thank you, Nada. We have an airport that is very important. My colleague, my dean, in fact, Marian Mocanu, has good relation because he specialized in logistics field, and he has very good connection in Timișoara Airport, and we have direct flight, for example, to Bari, to Germany, a lot of direct flights. Also Italy all over, Brussels, I don't remember, Spain, Barcelona and Madrid, and Paris, and I don't know, a lot of. So don't be afraid. From Timișoara, I could tell you that I have traveled all over the world, going directly in Munich, and then there in Munich we have a good connection. But for many other details of your trip, because that will be a very interesting and challenge issue for the next year, I would like my colleagues from Romania, different universities, and from Politehnica University in Timișoara to raise up the hands. They know very well English, French, Germany. That was the selection of my team this year here. And even if you talk Italian, we will understand. Thank you very much. So, a few pictures, as you see. It's our rectorate building and the Senate room of ours, where our rector will have the special invitation for the rectors next year. And probably you will have the chance to see Timișoara by night. Our rectorate building, it's very nice during the night time. Nobody's working during the night, but we illuminate. So, I would like to welcome you from this moment, and to keep in mind this event of last year, I would like you to pay attention to a short movie of 4 minutes, in English, of course, about the university. Thank you very much, and I wish you to be there to exchange ideas, to exchange opinion, and to have a great experience in our country. Thank you very much.
Opportunities.
Quality.
Acknowledgement.
Career.
Achievements.
Knowledge. Success. Excellence. Passion.
Professionalism. best choice in Eastern Europe.
So by purpose, I leave once again the question why Politehnica in Timișoara, because we are a very attractive destination. I think that everybody will be curious to see the Romanians in their own land. So our logo for the tourist destination Romania is please visit the Carpathians Garden. I think that the movie also convinced you about our parks and our yards and our beautiful nature. So I expect you all to have beautiful contributions, as beautiful as your country are and your universities are, in order to prove the excellence in your university together with our. Combining this diversity of excellences, we will be the best. Please be a successful applicant for the next year. Thank you.
Thank you very much. This concludes the conference events at the Directorate of the University of Bari. We thank you all for participating. After a short walk to the Palace Hotel Bari, lunch will be served from 1:15 onward. On your way out, you can still stop by Aula Magna to view its magnificent freschi. And later this afternoon, sessions will again begin at 2:45. Thank you.